Hey everybody, welcome back to Record-ology. What does a little portable radio and a Polaroid camera have to do with each other? More than you may think. You're not going to want to miss this. Alright, so when you look at this, your first thought is probably not audio. You're like, that's a bunch of Polaroid stuff. Very outdated way to take an instant photograph, although it kind of lives on. People are interested in this to this day. This is about an audio product. This radio right here. I'm going to pull that out of the equation for the time being and focus on these two cameras because the radio has a direct connection to these cameras. And you may be saying, what on earth is this guy talking about? Well, I'm going to also pull this out of the equation. First of all, these cameras are from my wife's family. In my family, we never had Polaroids. They were the coolest thing, I thought. But unless I was at some kind of festival or something, or maybe a friend's house, I never was around a Polaroid camera or had much exposure to Polaroids. I think it's a great idea. The novelty of getting your picture instantly was just that, an incredible novelty in the best sense of the term back in those days. But we never had those. These are two cameras from her family. This is an SX70 land camera from 1972. You can see it's got like a bellows there and the whole thing. I don't even know how to work it. It's kind of clumsy in my hands, but it'll collapse into a very thin package. And I don't want to damage it. I'm going to be very careful about handling this, but it basically will fit into this size of an area and then almost pocket size. So for 1972, that's pretty amazing. And this is the film pack for that. This is, as you can see here, 10 pictures. And this one is from December of 1976. And I promise you this video is about audio. It's still sealed. The foil wrapper is still there, has not been exposed. It is way expired. So, would it really work? That's a show for a separate day. That's not what we're here about. We're here for the radio. We're here for the radio, but it ties into this. Anyway, that belongs to that. And then you've got this from 1983, I believe. This is the Polaroid Sun 600 LMS. This is more typical of what I think of when I think of a Polaroid, this kind of form factor, and also took a cartridge that went right down there. Actually, we can pop this open here, and it took a 600 film pack, which would insert right into there. This is a little bit more closely related to the radio product itself. You'll notice that this says 600 on it. The radio does. This is not a camera. This is a radio, and this is from 1985, by the way. And it was free, as you can see. You didn't buy this. It was a freebie. But what does it have to do with the camera? And what does the camera have to do with the radio? So the answer lies right here with the camera itself. I want to ask you a question. How do you think this receives its power? Is there a battery compartment? I don't see a battery compartment. There's no hardwire power because this is designed to go into the field. That's why they would call this a land camera. The whole concept was portability, take it anywhere. It not only, took the photograph wherever you were, but it developed it wherever you were, and you could have an instant photograph. I can't express. Kids these days are so used to everything instant that the idea of how novel the idea of an instant photograph was back then, I can't overstate how novel that was and how exciting that was to actually have your photo. These are just super expensive in my world growing up. This, I had a Mickey Mouse 110 camera. Even 35 millimeter was, above my pay grade. But anyway, back to the question. So how does this thing get its power? And if I open this, again, this is where the film pack goes in. You don't see any battery compartment. You just see where the film pack goes in. If this was the right, this is a different one. This is the film pack for the land, the SX70. It is not compatible with the 600. Otherwise, I'd be pulling this out and showing you, but essentially it's the same idea. It inserts into there and it has the film, but it also contains the power. Yes, the power to run the camera, the flash, the shutter, the mechanics of, inserting the mechanics of the film coming out, all that good stuff, squeezing the chemicals onto the surface of the photograph in order to develop it, needs power. And that power actually comes from the film pack itself. That's because in addition to containing the film pack has a battery in it. So the essence is, once you're done shooting all the pictures, instead of throwing away the old pack, which has plastic in it and the framework that was holding the actual photographs, instead of just tossing that, the batteries in it are still good for some time. And this will be powered off of the next film pack that you insert, so it doesn't need a battery anymore. It will never need power unless there's, it's taking pictures, and it will never be taking pictures unless there's a film pack. So there's no need for it to have its own power supply. Ingenious to power it off of the film cartridge itself. And it's a waste to throw these away when the batteries still retain plenty of power. If it's just the batteries alone, it could probably do, I don't even know how many multiple series of pictures. But what I do know is that once you were done with the film pack, the batteries were still essentially brand new. That's where this comes into play. This is a radio that is powered off of the expired, or used, I should say, film pack. Doesn't need film, has nothing to do with film, doesn't take pictures. It simply is powered by the old and used film pack, what's left of it. So that brings us to this. This was a promotional item, again, 1985, $14.95 value. How do you come up with that value considering it was never sold retail as far as I can tell? It's an AM, FM radio. It's a Pulse battery inside, Polaroid 600 plus film pack, powers the radio, and it has a telescopic antenna, wrist strap, and an earphone jack. Earphone instead of headphones, always indicated mono, usually left channel only. You can also power this off of AA. So if you don't have any of this and you only have this, then that's fine. Now, there are other videos on YouTube about this device. I haven't seen a whole lot, if any, with the box. So I want to give a very clear, look at this, pictures guaranteed by Polaroid. Again, it's not a camera, it's just a radio printed in Hong Kong. This was a gift from a viewer, very, very kind gift, very, very kind viewer that has, blessed us with multiple items. So let's go ahead and open this up. Still has the bubble wrap. That's really cool. And the box. There's nothing else in the box besides that. That's all we need. And here is the device itself. This thing screams 1985 in the best way possible. This kind of tying into the branding looks like a chunky version of a Polaroid 600 plus film pack, but it is indeed just a radio. Plastic construction without any batteries whatsoever in it. It has good weight to it. It actually feels solid, even though it is plastic construction. This is simply a sticker on the front here. This is a really interesting device because at first glance you may say, oh, that's completely novelty. That's just a novelty item. But it's very functional as well. It's not purely novelty. It is functional. And like I said, the idea of, reusing, it's kind of like a very forward-thinking for 1985 idea to avoid waste and batteries going in landfills, etc., at least while they're still good, into the landfill when it can be repurposed. And it's kind of a sustainability champion, an early hero of a sustainability mindset, which I think is cool. Okay, so we have a speaker on the front, obviously mono. We'll see how that goes there. On top, we have a telescoping antenna that goes up about 1.5 feet. On this side, we have the aforementioned wrist strap. Were you ever somebody that put your wrist through the wrist strap? The idea being, if you drop it, the wrist strap would help catch it. So you're sitting there. This is something that you just don't see these days. So you're using the device, although it's kind of awkward to use the device while you have the wrist strap on. That does not really, it should be upside down from this perspective. Should be oriented the other way. Anyway, the idea is you're holding it, you're using it. Oops, I dropped it. Oh, it's saved because it had the wrist strap. That's all that was for. Anyway, so on the bottom there, we have the little tabs there to remove this compartment. We'll look at that in a minute. This, I believe, is a vent, just a pure ventilation. Maybe it helps a little bit enhance the sound because it's open to that back area. Made in China. Nothing on this side panel. This side panel, we have the tuning wheel, the AM, FM selector switch, the on-off switch and volume control, and the earphone jack. Turning it on the back here, we have this little card that comes out, and there's some notes and instructions, how-to stuff, etc. on the back. Questions, call 1-800, etc., etc. But this also works as a picture holder. So if you have a Polaroid photograph that you want to proudly display, this is a little frame for that as well. Now, it is no accident that the Polaroid name is everywhere on this because it's a fantastic advertising piece. Anywhere you go, you're sitting there, you know, let's say you're in the, what we used to call the 6 a.m. club, the 5 a.m. club at McDonald's, the old World War II veterans. I remember this. I used to work at McDonald's back in the day, and I remember there were these World War II vets at the time. I'm sure almost all of them have passed at this point. And I used to go listen to their stories. I used to spend my break when I was working there, not leaving McDonald's, but staying at McDonald's, just leaving. But they would get there 5, 6 a.m., have coffee, and sometimes they'd have a little radio that was turned on just loud enough for them to hear it. And this is perfect for something like that. Just a little personal radio. Not the smallest from a form factor standpoint that was possible at that time. Surely this, and we're going to listen to it, but surely this isn't going to be like a high fidelity listening experience. Just listen to the ball game, you know, listen to the news, maybe very quietly listen to some music. And that's pretty much, you know, the item itself. Let's take a closer look and give it a sound test. Okay. So let's go ahead and open the device. Just slide this open and you'll see there's something already in there. This is the AA battery holder, and it takes 4 AA batteries, as you can see there. Obviously, from a form factor standpoint, that's going to be the same size as that 600 plus film pack would be, and you could use either this or that. And if we look in here, it's just pretty much an open cavity, a couple metal contacts there to make contact with the battery pack. So let's go ahead and put some AA's in here and we'll fire up this radio. So I always go for the cheapest batteries money can buy. It's just the way I am. And but alkaline. I'm into alkaline batteries. They have these new ones now in all different sizes, AA, C cell, D cell, where they actually are USB powered. They're lithium ion, and you plug a cable into the side of the battery. Those are cool. I need to try that. But these are alkaline batteries from Amazon. I've never EBL. Never heard of this. I heard somewhere that there's really only a couple places that really make batteries, and then they're sold under various brand names. But these seem to be good so far. Okay, so let's go ahead. Oops. Let's go ahead and not drop the batteries. And we'll go ahead and insert them just like this. Alkaline batteries. They last a long time, but you do have to keep buying batteries. So anybody remember if this went in open side up? I think it went in open side up, if I remember right. Nope. Did not. It went in open side, well, up from this side anyway. Go ahead and put this in here. Close the compartment. Over here we should have, yeah, it works. Let me go ahead and flip the mic around facing the device, and we'll go ahead and scroll through the dial and give it a listen. Okay, let's go ahead and fire it up. Keep in mind, I get terrible AM reception in my area. Okay, so to test the AM, I think this is a fantastic excuse to use my AM transmitter. So this is my little AM transmitter, also powered off of the cheapest AA batteries I could find at the time. We'll go ahead and connect the device to this, broadcast locally in AM over to this. All right, let's go ahead and set up our little radio station here. I'm going to be using a cassette, so we've got the We Are Rewind. It's a good cassette player. This thing gets so much grief. Anything new when it comes to cassettes gets grief. And while I admit you can't beat a vintage cassette mechanism from the 90s or earlier, in terms of the new ones, this is good. It's got a metal, copper, heavy flywheel, stereo head, and even though it uses a Tanishan clone mechanism, it's implemented very, very well. Anyway, we're going to play some old-time radio, which I think is appropriate in this case here. So we'll pop that in. We're going to use the headphone output with the volume at about 80% to approximate line level to the line in of the transmitter. Go ahead and start that playing. I'm going to set this to about 700 kilohertz. And the volume, again, fairly high. And we should be able to pick this up at around the 700 mark on here. And go ahead and flip the tape over.
One violin lesson, $1.50. There it is. Well, see you later, Ed. All right. Oh, by the way, Mr. Benny, I meant to ask you, how are things on the outside? Oh, it's December. Winter is nearly here.
So it's kind of a fun way to test the AM anyway, right? So let's go ahead and I'm going to turn this off for now. We got this off. We'll set this aside. And I do get good FM reception, or I should say decent FM reception. So let's go ahead and flip this to FM mode. We're using the aerial now. And let's just see what's out there over the air. I'm going to start on the low side of the dial and see what we get.
You catch me? Well, I can't.
ARS already 7 days a week.
83.3 FLZ. Stream us on our free iHeartRadio app.
Nice.
Come to some rebel and mask in effect.
Great food and drinks. It's how they smoke certified Angus beef brisket and baby back ribs daily. It's how they cut our certified Angus beef steaks with passion, y'all. That's why they have the most loyal customers, like me. Come taste their passion at one of 3 Central Florida locations.
Profit. Yeah, you can.
Reminding you that the best part of summer is already here. Versus 32-34. Florida, there's sunshine in every bite. Injury firm in the world, and it's not even close. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. My wife and I had a plan early on. In our firm, our lawyers only work on certain types of cases.
With the most money for any trade, best finance offers, best selection, best customer service, and $300 extra towards any aftermarket purchase. When a good deal isn't enough, come get the best of steel.
All right, reception was, adequate. I think it wasn't like phenomenally standout good, but it wasn't bad by any means either. It was typical for what a cheap, affordable radio would be, back in that era and even today. Analog tuning, though, 100% analog tuning. I personally don't mind digital tuning, but the work it takes, the fine tuning, as it were, to actually get in a station clearly is a little bit more difficult with an analog tuner than a digital one. But there are obviously benefits to that complete analog throughput. It only took me about 5 takes to get through that intro because of the stupid housefly that came out of nowhere that's driving me nuts. Let's see if I can get through the outro in 1 take. Now you know why a portable radio and a Polaroid camera are interconnected in the most interesting way. Hopefully you found this interesting. If so, let me know down in the comments below. Don't forget to thumbs up this video. Tell a friend. Check out our merch. Custom 45 adapters. Have you got the new espresso and whipped cream edition? If not, we offer a combo pack with a discount. Most importantly, more importantly than anything else, I just want to say a huge thank you to you for being there. And that, my friends, is going to do it for today. So happy record hunting, and we'll see you next time. What does a little portable... Hey everybody, welcome back to Record-ology. What does a little portable radio and a Polaroid camera have to do with each other? You're not going to want to miss this. Hey everybody, welcome back to Record-ology. Whew. Buzz bombed by a fly. How about you not be in the shot? Wow. Housefly scared the crap out of me. Hey everybody, welcome back to Record-ology. What does a little portable radio and a Polaroid camera have to do with each other? More than you may think. Hey everybody, welcome back to Stop! Get out of here! Importantly than anything else, I just want to say a huge thank you to you for being there and for your support each and every week. But that's going to do it for now, so happy record hunting. See you next time. Get out of there, bro. What do you think you're doing? All right, my friends, and that's going to do it. And now you know why a portable radio and a Polaroid camera. Dude, this fly. We don't have flies in this house. Why is this happening right now? Combo pack, which are available at a discount. But mostly, I just want to say a huge thank you to you for being there, for all of your support. And that, my friends, is going to do it for today. So happy record hunting, and we'll see you next time. And that, my friends, is going to do it for today. So happy record hunting, and we'll see you next time. He's harassing me, dude.